Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. This is my first content video and I hope you guys enjoy. Today we're talking about the importance of self-love. And I'm not going to harp on the whole cliche, nobody can love someone who can't love themselves, although there is a part of that. But today we're going to focus on the importance of self-love. And although we all know self-love is super important, it's important to, like in an essay, to lay down and address the issue before getting to the solution. So let's get started. So today I'll be addressing what the lack of self-love can do to harm or put other relationships in jeopardy. And we're going to touch on 5 different issues. So the first issue we're going to touch on is how not loving a certain part of yourself sends a subliminal message to someone else to also not love that part of themselves. This is so important because as we go on to have children, we're teaching our children or those younger people in our lives how to love themselves. When we don't love a certain aspect of ourselves, our child sees that, and to them that sends a message to them that that part of them is also not worth loving. And that's why it's so important to find that self-love, to develop self-love before even getting in a relationship, because a lot of people, due to circumstance, have a child and they're not married, or they're not, or whether they are or not, they are having a child and they haven't found that level of self-love that they have for themselves, and so that's what they have to pass on to their children, further cycling the lack of love for themselves. And when children come to the world, their first teachers are the people around them, their family, their parents, and that's why it's so important to have that self-love for yourself so that you can help facilitate healthy development in your children as well. And now point number 2, lack of self-love opens the door for others to manipulate us. When we don't have a certain degree of self-love or self-worth, it tells people that we are vulnerable, or people will choose to take advantage of that and decide to manipulate you. And when you don't know your worth, you take a lot of things and you accept a lot of poor treatment because you don't realize you're worth more than that, and you will always worth more. This further enables toxic people to come into your life and you not realize to release them or let them go. And those toxic people, they continue to pull out of you, and you continue to pour into them because that's just who you are and that's how you love. And you forget to pour into yourself because you're expecting them to pour into you, because you don't realize your worth is only valued and decided by you. And thirdly, the lack of self-love causes us to doubt people's motives behind staying in our lives. A lot of times when we don't know our self-worth or have self-love, we don't believe that others are also capable of loving us because we can't even see that we are worth loving, and you are. I promise you that. When we doubt others' love for us, we start to think, okay, maybe they're here because they want something from me. What do they want? Well, like, they must want something because I'm not good enough. And a lot of times it's not a conscious decision. Sometimes it's a subconscious fear stemming from a deeper issue, a deeper trauma in our past lives. Now, a lot of times this is a bigger issue than some people may realize, because this doubt of other people's loves, this questioning of motives, they spiral into deeper issues. They cause self-isolation. They cause us to distrust people, to wonder why they're here, why they still stick around even when you have your bad moments. And it causes you to remain in this place of loneliness, because not only do you feel alone when you're by yourself, but now you feel alone when you're other people because you don't trust them and you don't trust their reason behind staying in your life. And thus you begin to push people away, which may also result in deeper depression. So now this 4th issue I call the reverse golden rule. So a lot of you may know that, learned it or heard of it growing up, that treat others how you want to be treated, the golden rule. But also my take on it is that now people are going to treat you how you treat you, which is another reason why self-love is so important. When you act in a certain way, people realize that they can also act in that certain way. It's like the way you take care of your things are also how other people are going to take care of your things. When you walk into your house and throw your shoes off and you just put things around randomly, that's how people are going to act when they come into your home. They're going to throw their shoes off and throw their stuff wherever you throw your stuff. When we invite people into our lives, we invite people into our home, our inner homes, we're showing them how to act by how we act. We are showing them how much we are willing to take. And it's all up to us, and that's why self-love is so important, because when you walk with your head held high, when you walk with respect, you walk with confidence, people see that. And they don't just see that, they feel it, they sense that. And when you don't walk with that, you don't hold yourself to a certain standard, when you don't hold yourself with love, people are going to further act on that, and they're going to feed off of that energy that you're giving, that vibe that you're giving. And now, my last point. When you show yourself self-love, it's easier to spot when people show it back to you. Love, that is. I think the best way to bring love onto yourself, in my opinion, one out of many options, is to treat you the way you've been wanting someone to treat you, and which also segues from our earlier topic. Do the things for yourself that you've been wanting other people to do for you. And when you do those things for yourself, you know how much you're going to tolerate when someone else treats you in a way you don't like. When you show yourself love, it's easier to spot when other people show that same love back to you. When all you know is self-loathing and hatred towards yourself or towards different parts of yourself, it's easier to accept when other people show that to you or give that to you because that's what you're used to. But when you're used to love and affection and appreciation and admiration because you've given that to yourself, you tolerate less of the things that you don't deserve. I believe love is at the center of life, and love is not only what we do, but it's what we are. So without love, who are we? Just as lack of self-love or self-loathing can look different amongst different people, the acts of self-love will also look different amongst you and I and them and he and she. It's going to look different for everyone. So keep that in mind as you continue to pour into yourself. A great teacher is one that gives you the time and opportunity to learn on your own. And then when you stray off the path, they guide you back to the center. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a good amount of time to figure out for yourself and actively search for ways that you can pour into yourself. Think about the things that you like, things that bring you joy, that brings you happiness, that gives you that undeniable feeling of love inside. So until then, stay tuned for next week on how to self-love. I'm going to leave you off with a quote by yinDyang. It is not selfish to love yourself, to take care of yourself, and to make your happiness a priority. It's necessary.